When the 5th-seeded Auburn Tigers took on the number 1 ranked Virginia Cavaliers, there might not have been too many people outside of Charles Barkley who thought Auburn was going to take this. They lost one of their best players to an ACL injury and had to go up against a team that had been the standard of excellence in college basketball for a decade. No one could have predicted how this game was going to end, and it was filled with so much drama and intrigue, you're simply not going to believe it. Before we get to that, let's at least discuss what was working on offense for both teams. Virginia runs an offense called movers and blockers, meaning there are always 2 players designated as screeners and 3 players who are cutters. Diakite is one of the blockers, and he simply steps up to set a back screen. Poor job by both the cutter's man for getting hung up on the screen and by the screener's man for not calling it out or recognizing what's happening. Easy pass, easy shot for Virginia. Ty Jerome was the leading scorer, and let's just say this. The offense did very little to help him get any shots off as they spread and let him ISO, and this might have been the easiest shot he made yesterday. I'm not a fan of this offense. Frankly, I wouldn't want to play in it if my only job was to set screens constantly and only shoot when I'm open under the basket. A simple switch blows up the potential dribble handoff to the left side, and it flows nicely to blind pig action where Jerome should be cutting backdoor off the flash by Diakite. But Kyle Guy inexplicably cuts across the lane at that exact moment. The entire offense stalls out completely, leaving Jerome to isolate out top, and somehow hits this one-footed floating 17-foot shot. I mean, wow. This alignment gets a double exit attack, where 2 cutters revolve in the same direction around 2 screeners. The problem with always having 2 screeners, though, is that they're constantly clogging the lane, making it way too easy for the help defenders, as Jerome finds out all too well. However, on the air ball, Virginia recovers, Jerome's man puts his hands on his knees, what? And that's all the daylight he needs to hop into this 3-ball. Virginia did add some pick and roll to their offense, thankfully, but it's really just an excuse to run the pin down on the right side. With the ball above the 3-point line and the screen set so low, Dunbar should have gone over the top of this. There's no room for a flare cut to the corner. Instead, he's a step behind, the screener's man has to step up, and a slick pocket pass gets them a dunk. It's easy to identify who the movers are in their offense since all they do is screen. Just look what it does to the lane. It's completely crowded. A very common action is to flare screen, then turn around and pin down, and it allows the reversal. But check the middle drive. There are 4 defenders inside the paint, and while Guy gets this to go in, holy moly is this difficult. This offense tends to get very rote. 1 action at a time, and the defense blows up the pin down as 2 guys just stand around on the weak side with nothing to do. Doughty makes a huge mistake to help 1 pass away and completely loses man. The flare screen is waiting, the skip finds Jerome, and that's all the daylight he needs. Because the blockers aren't threats, you can see how the defense can help off of them and cover the movers. Now you've got no spacing near the rim for a drive because the offense calls for 2 bigs to be constantly hanging around the block. How Jerome got this off, much less got it to go in, again is amazing to me. Finally, with 5.5 to go, they unload a beauty of a set. This is called Elevator, as they send Guy through the doors and close them behind him. However, this is misdirection. As the ball goes towards the baseline, Diakite snaps back to set a cross screen for Jerome, and he's wide open for a beautiful 3. Now let's look at Auburn's offense and how they get some buckets. First off, notice how much space they create in the lane. By spreading the defense out, they can reverse and attack the middle, which is death to any defense, as the penetration draws the weak side big over and a nice lob gets them a smash. Auburn avoids the triple threat position a lot, attacking on the catch to not allow the defense time to get in position. Here's a nice pitch and pick to the left wing. It gets middle penetration, which not only gets dunks, but also creates open corner 3s when Jerome foolishly gets caught helping 1 pass away. Again, look at the difference in spacing between Auburn and Virginia. Tons of room to work with, and Virginia can't close the gap in time as Harper finishes with a beautiful double pump lefty. Virginia also plays the pack line defense, which at times is suffocating but can also be frustrating to watch. Getting into held position one pass away is part of its fundamentals, and the more teams learn how to attack on the catch, the less effective it will be going forward. The breakdown here comes when Clark not only helps one pass away, but reaches in. This forces complete rotations, and one more pass by Auburn gets them an easy shot in the corner. Bryce Brown is Auburn's leading scorer, but he hadn't hit a bucket all game. A simple inside pick and roll at the left wing doesn't find him much space at all, but it was a crucial shot they badly needed. Another problem with pack line is that one pass away positioning here leaves you very susceptible to flare screens. This forces the switch, and it's covered really well by Virginia. Brown forces the shot, Virginia doesn't block out well, and this time Diakite kind of forgot he was guarding Brown for a second, and he hops into a quick release over him to cut the lead to 3. All this amazing skill we see on the court in the Final Four doesn't happen by accident. Jerome's shot making and Brown's threes took countless hours of work to be this good. And it's the kind of training you'll get by attending point guard college. With their intelligent approach to teaching the game, you'll learn what it truly takes to become great. With camps in over 30 states and Canada, PGC will unlock your true potential and transform you into the best player you can be. If you aspire to being a playmaker like Trae Young, there is no better environment than PGC. Now it's time to get to the ending, because you're not going to believe your eyes, sports fans. You can see even more spacing issues haven't gone away on this curl, but it flows to a flare screen. But check this, one of their blockers gets creative with a shot fake, drive, and creates 2 free throws. Can I have some more, please? Problem is, he's a 68% shooter and misses both. Auburn runs nice flex action where Brown cross screens, then gets his own pin down, but they flip it into a flare screen and cut when the defender tries to cheat under. Guy can't recover in time, and Brown nails another 3, and now Auburn has come all the way back from down 10 to up 2. Virginia is willing to take a lot of time off before running something, which is curious to me since they are now losing this game. Seems they should be attacking and looking for a good shot as quickly as they can. There's simply no space, as Hunter looks like he's forgot he's supposed to be screening. While Jerome has daylight on his catch, it's about 8 feet behind the line, it wasn't in rhythm, and it's short. Brown was feeling it, but this is a poor time for a heat check. He wasn't well balanced, rushed it, and it is way off, giving Virginia another chance. At 15 seconds, Virginia finally begins their attack. The first pin down to Guy doesn't get an opening. The next pin down looked like Jerome might have had a shot in the catch, but poor spacing allows help one pass away without giving up a shot. Not clear why Jerome wanted to waste time throwing it to Clark to get it right back again, but now they're up against the shot clock, need an isolation, and I'm really surprised the refs didn't call this contact on the shot. It was clear in real time, even more clear in slow motion, and it's pretty severe contact on his arm on the way up, and not surprisingly, it misses short. They took so much time on this possession that now Auburn doesn't have to shoot it, forcing Virginia to foul them. However, they almost get the steal, but Harper calls timeout first. The other wrench in Virginia's plan is that they only have 4 team fouls and have to get to 7 before they can stop the clock with free throws. There is time, but it's going to be close, and they almost get a steal on this inbounds play before Virginia takes the foul. Another inbounds play, another foul, so they still need 1 more after this, but again, there is enough time. Of course, there are issues with having to inbound. A 5-second call, a steal of the pass, and they barely get it in. McLemore is fouled, and it's time to shoot a 1-and-1 with the game in the balance. McLemore doesn't even have his shooting hand firmly on the ball before he starts to shoot it. But hey, maybe he knows something I don't, and it goes right in the hoop. As a 62% free throw shooter, you got to imagine he's only going to make 1, but he quick releases this one too, and it drops in for a 4-point lead. Down 4, you have to get the fastest 2-point shot possible. Instead, Virginia takes their time to break into an offense. It didn't really work. Auburn was right there on the catch in the corner, but Guy double pumps, flails his legs, gets it off with the defender nose to nose, and just nails this shot. I mean, holy wow. They quickly foul before the ball is inbounded. In college, you're allowed a dead ball foul and only have it be a common 1-and-1 situation. And wouldn't you know it, The 83% free throw shooter misses the second one. As fate would have it, Auburn only had 4 fouls, so they very wisely take one in the backcourt to force Virginia to inbound at 3/4 court with only 5 seconds left. Here's where it got insane. First off, Jerome dribbles the ball off his foot under pressure. He then picks it up with 2 hands and keeps dribbling. This, my friends, is a textbook double dribble. 2 refs are right there with a clear view and simply don't see it or ignore it. But wait, some want to argue there was a foul here, and I'm not buying it. Even though they had a foul to give, I don't think this contact merits a whistle. Now, the fumble of the dribble actually gave Jerome an advantage at midcourt as the defender half went for the loose ball. And this was the foul that was a mistake. With under 2 seconds to go, you've got to just keep your man in front and let him heave it up from 45 feet. Instead, they take another foul, and this time they can inbound from the normal sideline position. And it proved absolutely crucial. Hard to believe they wouldn't have Jerome as a receiver and potential shooter. But let's see what they run. They cut Diakite up and back towards the rim for a lob. That's a tough pass, and it's covered well enough. You can't see him yet, but Guy was also trying to get in there to screen for the lob before breaking out to the corner. While he gets a clean catch, his back is to the basket. But watch the defender. He starts to jump, thinks better of it, but then drifts into the body of the shooter. There is clear and significant contact. The refs have to call this no matter what. And suddenly, the foul they took at midcourt led directly to a play that should never have happened. It's heartbreaking for Auburn fans, and this play is almost as bad as the Chris Webber phantom timeout. But Guy still had to hit the free throws, and hit them he did. Auburn can't get a good shot off, and this has to be the most stunning finish to a Final Four game in a long time, if not ever. Virginia had a 10-point lead, lost it all, and you know when the referees get involved in college, there's going to be a lot of head scratching and eyes crying. Lest you were wondering how Kyle Guy was feeling on those free throws,
I could lie to you and say I knew I was going to hit him, but I was terrified. I had confidence in myself, but this is what we dream of. And, for me to be able to do this for our team, I couldn't be happier.
I hope you enjoyed this video and it made sense to you as a coach, a player, and a fan. Please give us a thumbs up and comment down below. Plus, I'm offering you a free video with more insights into the way the game is played that will improve your playing and your coaching. Make sure to check back here since I'll have a range of different free videos moving forward and we'll be swapping out links. Click here to watch some other videos I recently produced on both the NBA and March Madness. And hit that subscribe button and adjust your settings so you'll be notified immediately as soon as a new video drops. Thanks for joining me today, and don't forget, sports fans, at BBallBreakdown, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You in?